This little fella's become pretty ubiquitous of late, the green robot of Google's dominant Android operating system. The problem for smartphone makers running that operating system, though, is, well, how do you differentiate your device from all your competitors? Unlike Apple, who own both the software and hardware experience, and where users are fiercely loyal, there's nothing to stop a Samsung customer easily jumping ship next time they buy a phone or tablet. And that is something the Korean electronics giant is desperate to change. And so the scene is set for a San Francisco shindig aimed at those greasing the wheels of the mobile bandwagon. Lure software developers in to make exclusive apps, and the thinking goes, you've got a better chance of keeping your customers as well. That means giving them better software tools so that apps work better not just in one particular Samsung device, but across them as well. Like this air hockey game, which by simply pinching two screens together, joins them up to play a single game seamlessly. It also means creating partnerships, like this one with Twitter, whose Samsung-only tablet app shows off its unique multi-windowing capabilities.
For example, I might be browsing the New York Times, and I might be inspired to tweet something. And with Samsung multi-window, it's easy to tweet and browse the web at the same time. I just slide in from the left and drag Twitter straight into the left. Drop it, and now I'm right back where we were. Full Twitter app, optimized for the smaller screen. And I can still use the web browser.
And for other partners like music discovery service Pandora, whose app works across TVs and handsets, it's about having a tech partner who's one step ahead of the crowd.
But there's critical technology components on both ends of that experience. So it's not just enough for the application running on the phone to desire this behavior. It needs to be enabled by thoughtful technology on the TV, for example. And so Samsung's enabled that vision, so it's just a thing that we're able to do in this environment that we can't do everywhere.
These days, it's all about one word, ecosystem, and preferably closing it down so that your devices as Samsung only talk to other Samsung devices. That's the case with this Galaxy Gear smartwatch, which only right now talks to this Galaxy Note 3. It's a strategy which has worked well for Apple, but will it work well for Samsung? And ultimately, does it work for consumers?
Well, at the end of the day, we have to make sure that if a consumer buys one of our gears with our Samsung phones, that the experience itself is a beautiful experience. So we want to make sure we get that right.
You've been phenomenally successful over the past few years, in particular in the smartphone market. But do you find yourselves now in a position where you find there's an uncomfortable reliance on the operating system that you don't control in the way that you would want to? It must be slightly galling that Google are making so much money after the sale of your hardware.
I don't know if I want to answer that question.
Part of the reason, presumably, why you've got the developers here today is to encourage them to develop Samsung-specific apps so you can monetize those apps, no?
No, I think what I'm passionate about is making sure that consumers have choice of applications, and those applications really work super well on Samsung products. At the end of the day, I think that's what really matters.